Welcome to the Evening Review. My name is Sukhane, and joining us once again is Olsen Kahiriri, who will be commenting on a number of issues that have been making the headlines in the couple of weeks. Before you go into that interview, we'll go for a short commercial break. Welcome back to the Evening Review. It's always a pleasure having you here.
Thanks for having me.
And before we get into the nitty-gritties, I think on behalf of myself and the Evening Review viewers, a belated happy birthday to you.
Thanks.
Now, we've seen in recent weeks with the tombstone unveiling of the late Paramount Chief Advocate Veku Rukoro, there were factions with the Paramount Chief, whether it's disputed or not is not for me to say, who was installed 20 kilometers outside of Okanja, while another faction was celebrating the red flag at Commando Number 1. These observations, in your opinion, what do you make of them?
No, these are the signs that those we call our traditional leaders are missing the pot. Just shortly after the Paramount Chief passed on, those we trust to lead us started fighting for reasons only known to them, dividing the tribe furthermore. And I think it all boils to the Paramount Chief portfolio, which was advised to us back in the years by Anderson, the Swedish trader who was trading with us. Because the mission back then was for the Herero people to speak one voice, they would need to have one leader, which is the Paramount Chief. But from the look of things where we are, it's worse than ever, because we are not only divided into two factions, we are divided actually into 4 factions. You would see in August 23rd, if I'm not mistaken, to 26th, there's a group that is also going to do their traditional activities in Okahanja, which are not from the factions that took place back then. So it seems to me that from the Herero clan, we have not one traditional Paramount Chief. We have in the Banderus, we have in Banderus having 2 Paramount Chiefs, and the Hereros on the other side also having one who portrayed himself as an acting and one who portrayed himself as the Paramount Chief. So that's where we find ourselves, but this does not help the Herero people. You saw yesterday close to 200 Namibians, especially Hereros, wanted to go and watch the Olympic Games in Birmingham, England, and they were all sent back home. How much money did they spend? Close to 12 million for such a project. While the leaders who should try and unite these people, speak on behalf of them in such quest, are fighting among each other. So they have actually lost the common good of the Herero people in terms of trying to fight for the interest of the Herero in terms of reparations and the return of the land. We have leaders that do not understand why they should be traditional leaders. But my advice to them is to find capable, trusted Namibians, especially from the Herero tribe, who we have a lot of intellectuals who remains neutral in order to try and unite these people. Because you must understand that this country is run by a SWAPO government. and if it's a SWAPO government, we are moving to the 2024 elections. You, as a tribe or as a constituency, what are your plans? Who are the people that you are going to put forth as leaders while you are fighting over a title? These are issues that I see my tribe being put behind, that are put to test at this moment in time. But I'm not a person that wants to dwell into tribal wars, tribal issues, because I'm a nationalist. I love the country. I believe in the country. And something that we should do is to save this country. And in order for you to save the country, you also have to start at home. They say charity begins at home. So it's very painful that we are experiencing people that we call our elders fighting over these fights. And these fights also comes from the mission of the government, the SWAPO-led government. Since 1990, they have created a system where a divide and rule is the order of the day. The Oveherero Traditional Authority are experiencing the same things. The Namas, the Tamaras, not forgetting the Tswanas, and if you go as far as Katima Mulilo is concerned, I have some of the people that are also seeking some advice from me. There are still burning issues there in terms of division within the tribal connotation. And I think how we have built this country since 1990 is coming to hand us after 30 years.
And then moving now from tribal issues now to the city where government sits, the city of Windhoek. You had this week specifically, you had the Independent Patriots for Change councillor call a meeting, which the mayor, on the other hand, said, which now represent, who's serving on the ticket of the Landless People's Movement, said she was not the management committee chairperson was not mandated to call a press briefing. And at this press briefing, a lot of damning revelations were made about the state of the city's coffers. Just this infighting, seemingly infighting, what do you make of that? Or where you see that there are different narratives being pushed, or where you see that this one says the other thing. I mean, look at the issue of the appointment of the CEO. LPM said Roads Authority CEO Conrad Lutombi should be appointed. This side IPC is saying that the process should be restarted because it was flagged with irregularities. These things, you know, what do you make of them?
At my house, I have 4 kids in a house from different ages, from my wife. The thing is, at home, they fight over the remote control. Who wants to play the TV? You understand?
Yes.
And this is not different from what we are seeing in the city of Windhoek. I see a childish actions that is taking place in one of the biggest metropolitans of this country. Because apart from government administration, city of Windhoek is the biggest organization we have in this country. And if we have leaders who are unable to sit at the table and iron their differences in the interest of the citizens, what are we saying? Seriously, is management having powers to call press conferences? When did we get to that level? And I'm not choosing sides and all these things. I have to be honest with you. When Kachimune made statements that we have interns that are abused, city of Windhoek threw these people into the street. And through one of my clients, the trade union, we wrote to the city of Windhoek, and I called the mayor. What is going on? She said she's going to come back to me. To date, there's no response. These people do not care about the citizens or residents of Windhoek. It's about cat fights. Cat fights. In the interest of the city, how do we take it far? If we look at disciplinary proceedings that are taking place in the city of Windhoek, it's chaotic. The city cannot even sustain the city of Windhoek, that they are the city police that they have. These are issues. Ever since these people come into power, tell me, you are a journalist, you would be able to tell me what are the concrete debates and policies they have put. Just tell me.
Bicycle lanes.
It's just to collect the allowances, what? This is just a show. Who has the best ideas and what? You see, we have already passed the stage where we can disagree, because when you go to elections is where you disagree. The moment you get elected, when you sit in the council chamber, your interest is the residents who put you there, and your words should be one. And I fail to understand, and this is the culture that we have created in Namibia. We have created this culture. It's not only in the city, it's in government. Ever since we have led this government, look at RCC. What are we reading? Look at Social Security. Look at all these parastatals. Look at all the government structures. 30 years down the line, we're seeing what the SWAPO-led government in reality has created for us. That's why you can see everything in this country is falling apart. And what we are seeing in the city is what we are going to see in 2024. Because we want to have, nobody in this country will have a majority power in this country. Because those who were given majority power have lost it. And the type of government we are going to have in 2024 is the one we see in the city of Windhoek if we don't put a stop to this nonsense. I will call it nonsense because the residents are the one suffering. How do you run a city without a CEO? And what you do is just fight. You spend millions and millions of dollars to recruit a CEO. When you are about to appoint the person, you say you are going to start from scratch. What the hell is that?
Well, I'd like to weigh more into other issues, pertinent one being the current strike where civil servants are voting in favor of a strike or against. But before we go into that issue, Olsen, I'd quickly like to go for a short commercial break, so please do stay tuned. We'll be back shortly. Now, welcome back to the evening review. Commissar, now we have an issue where civil servants have not received salary increases since 2015 or 2016 thereabout. And at the same time, we're having government that is saying that, well, we understand your plight, but we can't afford to give you salary increases because of the state of the economy. Your opinion on that?
Why did we move the parliamentary seats from 72 to 104? Can the president explain to us? Why did we move the National Assembly from 26 to 42?
You're talking about now the National Council?
National Assembly. Because none of those people sitting in those structures and less than around 680,000 Namibian dollars annually. Why did we increase those seats? Why did, you see, the Namibian constitution has created cabinet. People take oath to be the executive branch of this country. Then the president goes and creates his own executive branch, his cooker shop executive, which is the A-team, also a balloon salary cost that he has put at the expense of government. And these are his business partners. These are the people that brings you to tell you that there will be hydrogen project, the new project. Where was it? 3, 4, 5 years ago. Since 1990, we had a national plan, the Vision 2030. Is government telling us how far are they with that plan? They had a good-to-guess plan. They spent billions and billions of taxpayers' money. Did they account to that? How did that project die? They started a new one, which was started 6, 7 months ago. What are these people telling us? Billions of dollars, and then you can't pay civil servants. Then the president must come straight to parliament and tell them that the country is broke, I'm going to dissolve parliament. They must step down. Boris from UK, he resigned. Prime Minister, because he can't take it. In Italy, the same. The Prime Minister resigned and dissolved parliament. If these people are failing to run the affairs of this country, it's not their house. They must step down. Now look, this government is even taking this strike issue very lightly, as if they can handle. They cannot even run the country itself without these employees being present at the offices. What if they go on a strike? They say the army, the NDF won't go to strike and what? This is where I tell you and I warn government, you can even arrest me for instigating violence as they always do and threaten people in this country. There is a say in industrial relation, which is called go slow. The police, the army who are affected, the nurses, work that they can do in 10 minutes, they will do it in 4 hours. What will happen of this country? It will collapse. These people are playing with the lives of our children. They don't know what they're doing. All they do is bringing political phrases to reality. Let me tell you, my brother, you are working and your tax per month is roughly 32%. That's the tax bracket of someone who earns a decent salary in this country. 32%. From $100, $32 is not yours. Then what is left is how much? $68. From the $68 that is left, you must pay VAT, which is 15%, which is 47% is already gone. You are left with $53 from $100. The rest, the 47, goes to government to run and pay for these huge salaries that I'm talking about. Now, from that, what you are left with, which is around 50, that you stand up every day to go and work for. Petrol, from $100 of petrol, you get 4.5 liters, which is roughly a gallon back then. A gallon that back then we were using it, if you don't have enough money, to go and source petrols to the nearest service stations. What are we saying? Everything is sky ballooning. Everything is going up. We have a government that is on a plane, apparently going to seek investors. Where are these investors? Are they investing in their own pockets? This is the reality. And I support those who want to go on a strike. If the country is broke, then they must put the financial unsustainability to the public. They must tell us what is our loans and what is our guarantee to those loans. Where are those contracts? These people must be honest. They have failed to run this country. It's not me. It's not you. It's them. We gave them a country to run. We give them a blank check for 32 years to the billions that we have been giving them year in and out. What are they telling us? What have they built? This is the reality that we are faced with as Namibian citizens. And when public servants go to strike, the petrol suppliers are also going to a strike. The taxis want to go to a strike. The moment we have these three phases of strikes, what will become of this country? It's going to go to the flames. And who has created these things? Someone must be held accountable. And it is the party that is running this country and its leadership. The cabinet. You see, I have a problem with these so-called separations of power. There is no separations of power. My advice is cabinet. The cabinet can't sit in parliament. They must only come to parliament to come and answer. When they sit there, they must know that it's hot seat. We ask them, yesterday we gave you 50 million. What did you do with it? They can't be voters in parliament. These are things that we must change as lawmakers. Because it's hardly we hold the executive accountable. And then we have a legal system whereby everybody knows that today when you launch a case against public, against any person or any institution, your result will come in 5 years. But just touch the Chinese, your case will come in the next morning. You understand? This is what we have created. The judiciary is weak. Me personally, as a law student, I'm telling you, I'm very disappointed in our judiciary system. It's not helping us. When you look at the executive, that is calling people's names when they are saying we cannot breathe, and the legislature, which is the National Assembly, that is not holding all these structures accountable. Then we come to the local authority that you just ask and talk to, which is held hostage by councillors. We must scrap these councillors' issues and just start running our structures properly. Everybody, you see the way we have designed our country in terms of our constitution. We said Namibian constitution is the best. Yes, it's the best because it protects the bourgeoisies. The bourgeoisies are the elites that were not in exile, as they say, but they were in New York. The Hakeka, the bourgeoisies who sit next to the West, the guys who taught them that capture the country, bring the resources to us, who will protect you. And then they stop the locals. The locals, the Swapo guys who were local here, won't go to structures because they never met the bourgeoisies. The people who control these countries are not the Hakeka. There's someone pulling the string somewhere there.
Okay, noted. On a positive, I want to end now on a positive note, and we see now with the Brave Warriors, the new coach was appointed, given 5-year contract, and went as far as taking the country, or the Brave Warriors, the team themselves, to a final, although we lost. These developments, in your view, what does it say, given the lack of local football?
You see, it comes back to what I was saying. 200 people want to go to Birmingham to go and watch the Olympic Games, the Commonwealth Games, joining the Namibian team. They are stopped at the airport. These are issues that I'm telling you that this country is not serious with sporting events. Every time when you want to go and attend sporting events, you are going for asylum. Then people are running away from the leadership of this country. Yes, our national team performed very, very well under the immense pressure of not having a league. Kudos to Colin Benjamin and his team, especially the normalizing committee, that did a brilliant job to try and steer the ship where it is. We are already in August and September. I do not see a league starting. Maybe it will be the tournaments. You see, the funny part of these investors who wants to be sponsors in football are going to invest their money into the Hakeka Cup.
To wrap up now.
Hakeka Cup. Just a cup that plays for 2-3 days. Millions of money, but you don't want to invest it into a league that takes 12 months.
Final thought.
Final thought, the dissatisfaction of the Namibian people has reached a boiling point. The country is on flames. Those who love this country must come and save this country. Not arrogantly, but doing it in a proper manner. Because those who are in charge currently will never save this country.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for tuning on into the Evening Review. Good night.